Welcome to this explainer. I was looking into garden pest control recently, and I stumbled on a fascinating secret that is absolutely going to change how you manage your garden. Seriously. It turns out the most powerful, rapid pest killer in existence isn't sitting on a shelf at your local garden center. It's actually sitting in your kitchen spice cabinet right now. One spoon, one spray, and pests like aphids, mealybugs, and whiteflies. They're dead on contact in seconds. But there's a massive catch. 90% of gardeners who try this end up burning their plants to the ground because they get one crucial thing wrong.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You walk outside, your heart just sinks, and you see your beautiful roses or your prized tomatoes completely overrun, every single leaf just crawling with bugs. So you go out and buy these expensive chemical sprays, spend 3 days wondering if your vegetables are even safe to eat anymore, and yet the pests come back worse. It's like they multiplied overnight because, well, they did. Most home remedies just mildly inconvenience pests. So are you ready for a real solution?
For literally under $2, we are going to build a contact elimination barrier. It kills on touch, it keeps pests away for days, and it's completely safe for your kids, your pets, and your bees. But, and this is the catch I was talking about, precision is absolutely mandatory. Missing a single step in this process will quite literally torch your garden.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our exact roadmap for saving your garden today. We'll look at the kitchen cabinet pest killer, the science behind the spray, the exact 3-ingredient formula, 3 critical application mistakes, and finally, a long-term garden defense strategy.
Part 1. The Kitchen Cabinet Pest Killer. Unlocking the power of a $3 spice aisle staple. The answer to all your pest problems is plain garlic powder. Only plain garlic powder. Not fresh garlic, definitely not garlic oil, and absolutely no garlic salt. We are talking about the simple, everyday jar from the spice aisle that costs about $3 and will easily last you an entire growing season. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I've tried garlic remedies before and they totally failed, there's a fascinating reason why. Previous home remedies likely failed because gardeners got the formula, the carrier liquid, or the timing completely wrong. If you mess up any of those, it fails. But if you get all 3 right, insects die within seconds.
Part 2. The science behind the spray. Why insects die in seconds.
Understanding the chemistry is really what separates this method from your standard DIY internet tutorial. Garlic contains a powerful sulfur compound called allicin. It's actually the exact same compound that gives garlic that sharp, pungent smell when you crush it. And as you can see in some of the high-quality animated breakdowns out there, the way allicin targets insects is incredible. To soft-bodied pests like aphids, mealybugs, and spider mites, allicin is acutely toxic. The moment it makes contact with their soft outer cuticle, it penetrates almost instantly. It physically disrupts their cellular function and triggers rapid dehydration. Death literally follows within seconds. It's a direct, unavoidable physical and chemical response.
And this brilliantly illustrates allicin's fascinating second function, which is what makes this a true long-term solution. Aphids and other soft-bodied insects actually navigate using compounds called semiochemicals. Basically, they smell their way through your garden to find a host. Well, allicin completely disrupts those signals. A treated plant no longer smells like a host plant to them. It reads as a threat. So you aren't just eliminating current pests, you're building an invisible barrier that repels entirely new populations from ever setting up shop. And the safety profile? It's extraordinary. At these specific concentrations, allicin is completely non-toxic to vertebrates. Mammals, birds, reptiles, kids, dogs, cats, they are all perfectly safe. And even better, your bees and butterflies are completely unaffected. Why? Because pollinators simply don't possess the specific biological pathway that allicin attacks in soft-bodied pests. So there's absolutely zero ecosystem disruption here. Part 3. The exact 3-ingredient formula. Precision is everything.
All right, let's walk through the precise execution because I can't stress this enough. These proportions are exact measurements, not approximations. Step 1. Dechlorinate 1 quart of water. This is the step most people skip and it ruins everything. Chlorine actively breaks down allicin on contact. So fill a jug with tap water and leave it sitting out, uncovered, for a minimum of 24 hours so the chlorine gas naturally off-gasses. Step 2. Dissolve exactly 1 level teaspoon of plain garlic powder. Going higher does not improve results, it just risks leaf burn. And again, no garlic salt because the sodium causes osmotic stress in plant tissue. Stir this continuously for 2 to 3 full minutes until it's completely dissolved. Step 3. Add 1 tablespoon of clear, neutral dish soap. This acts as your surfactant. It breaks the surface tension so the liquid spreads evenly rather than just beating up and rolling off waxy leaves. Just stir it gently for 1 minute so you don't create a bunch of excess foam.
Now pour this into your spray bottle, but whatever you do not strain it. The solution's going to look a bit cloudy and, well, rustic. Your first instinct will probably be to clean it up by running it through a coffee filter. Resist that instinct. Those fine garlic particles suspended in the liquid actively contribute to the pest-killing efficacy. They physically carry the allicin directly onto the insects.
Part 4. 3 critical application mistakes. How 90% of gardeners burn their plants to the ground. Now that you have the spray, executing it incorrectly will damage your plants just as effectively as the pests would. Mistake number 1 is spraying during direct midday sun. At this concentration, the garlic itself is harmless to plants. However, the oils in the solution combined with intense UV radiation create a localized heat effect on the leaf surface that literally scorches the tissue. We're talking brown burn spots and crispy edges. You absolutely must spray only in the early morning between 6 and 8 a.m. or in the late afternoon between 4 and 6 p.m. Just never spray between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. during the warm months. Let's move to mistake number 2. Check out the breakdown of where these pests actually hide in these high-quality photos. Spraying only the top surfaces of your leaves is a massive error. If you only spray the aphids you can see on the visible top surface, you're only treating 20% of the infestation. 80% of these pests live and feed on the undersides of the leaves and right in the hidden crevices where the stems meet the branches. Every single leaf needs to be physically tilted and thoroughly coated.
So the crucial point is, mistake number 3, treating just once and expecting the whole problem to be solved. Eggs are protected under waxy coatings and are highly resistant to surface treatments. If you spray once, the eggs will just hatch 3 to 5 days later with zero predator pressure, and the population growth explodes all over again. You have to follow this strict 11-day protocol. Day 1 eliminates the adults and juveniles. Day 6 targets the newly hatched juveniles before they can reach reproductive maturity. And Day 11 destroys any final stragglers and deposits a strong, lasting protective barrier of allicin. Now, different plants do need slight adjustments. Leafy greens have really sensitive surfaces, so use just half a teaspoon of garlic and apply that every 5 days. Roses carry heavy aphid pressure and can handle a stronger dose of 1.5 teaspoons every 5 to 7 days. Fruit trees use the standard mix every 7 days, but make sure to stop 3 days before you harvest. And for large garden beds, simply multiply the recipe by 5 and use a pump sprayer.
Part 5. Long-term garden defense strategy. Beyond the spray bottle.
Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader context of holistic garden practices. First, just look at the comical economics of this method compared to store-bought options. Commercial organic soaps can run up to $18 for just 2 weeks of coverage. Chemical sprays? They're $30 and highly toxic. Neem oil is $15, works slowly, and smells awful. But this garlic spray? It costs approximately $6 for an entire season of protection. That is a 50-fold reduction in cost, with absolutely no chemical resistance buildup from the insects. It's a total no-brainer.
Now, what if you have a really severe infestation? We're talking curling leaves and stems completely coated in sticky honeydew and black sooty mold. Well, you need the crisis protocol. Step 1. Blast the entire plant with a strong stream of water from the hose. This physically removes about 70% of the insects instantly. Step 2. Cut away any branches that are more than 50% colonized. You just have to remove those thousands of eggs. Step 3. Apply a heavy garlic spray to all remaining surfaces, tops, undersides, stems, and even the soil. Step 4. Physically isolate the plant for 2 full weeks, keeping it far away from your healthy garden. To stop infestations from happening in the first place, use companion planting. Herbs like mint, basil, cilantro, and lemongrass emit volatile compounds that create a highly disorienting chemical environment for aphids. Also, pro tip, never put a new nursery plant directly into your garden. Always quarantine it for 1 full week. Finally, rotate your treatments to prevent behavioral resistance. Do 2 weeks of garlic, 1 week of diluted neem oil, and 1 week of just a plain water rinse.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fascinating biology behind a stressed plant. Why do aphids preferentially attack underwatered, overwatered, or nutrient-deficient plants? Well, because physiological stress causes the plant sap to emit higher concentrations of free amino acids. Your plant literally becomes a richer, more delicious food source for them. Maintaining genuine, foundational plant health is your ultimate shield.
A thriving plant simply doesn't broadcast the chemical signals that invite pests to dare.
Think about it. Your plants might be sending out chemical distress signals right this very second. So, are you ready to change their broadcast? You now have the exact blueprint to take permanent control of your garden's ecosystem, safely and naturally. Go mix your first $2 batch tonight. But remember the 24-hour dechlorination rule. Stick to the 11-day schedule and watch those pests completely disappear. Happy gardening, and I'll catch you in the next